You left the bodies, didn't you?
Do you like scary movies, Sydney?
You have a TV?
No. I just like to read the TV guide. Read the TV guide. Don't need a TV.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
Over 1,600 titles, each for rent at just $2 the first night, and only...
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster!
Give me the power, I beg of you.
Welcome to the Frog Brothers Podcast with your hosts, Justin and Alec.
Hello, and welcome to episode 82 of the Frog Brothers Podcast. I am Justin, and this is Alec.
Hello.
How you doing, Alec?
I am mediocre.
Mediocre. Hey, so we've got some news, but the first thing we really needed to talk about is because what was the big deal over the weekend was Friday night, New York Comic-Con, Ghostbusters Afterlife panel. And I'm watching along, and you guys want to see some clips? You know what, let's just watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I still didn't understand what was happening until it just cut off, and I was like, wait.
They cut the feed off, and then
They're not showing clips, though.
I had this immediate sinking feeling in my gut, like, I'm not in the right place at the right time right now. I'm not where I should be.
Yeah.
And then...
As if a million voices suddenly cried out.
Exactly. It felt like we're missing out.
There was a disturbance in the force.
Now, we're going to be all honest with you here. A lot of people wouldn't be able to say what I'm going to say. I was disappointed, and I was insanely jealous.
Yes.
A lot of people just got mad, and they couldn't understand that they were jealous. They didn't know how to articulate it. My God, I am jealous of the people that were at that fucking premiere. That had to be incredible.
Yeah, that's the thing, is a lot of people are pissed, and they're saying shit like, this shouldn't have been shown here, it's so terrible, spoilers, and yada yada. And I'm like, movies have screenings all the fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
It's not the screening, you're just jealous. And believe me, I have that burning rage inside also, but it would be misdirected to be pointed at those people, or anyone for that matter. There's no one to point it at. If you want to point it at anyone, you're going to have to point it at yourself, unfortunately,
yes,
for not being there.
You know who I blame for not being at New York Comic-Con? Me, because I didn't buy the ticket, and I didn't book it all.
Yeah, we debated it at first, but it was like, it's just too much, it's too short of notice for us right now. We have a lot of fucking shit going on.
There's a lot of other things going on.
Yeah.
Would that have been awesome? Yes. Am I happy for the people that are there? Yes.
Do I wish I had sold one of my kidneys? Yes.
Now, I'm going to say this. So, initially I was filled with jealous rage. That subsided, and I didn't really say much about it, but I just accepted it.
In this case, the
Bug saw the fact that these people saw Ghostbusters Afterlife and became insanely jealous.
Exactly.
And then I was paranoid about spoilers, but then just like before, Jason Reitman asked everyone in the audience to, hey, not spoil stuff, and I've seen people saying there's some spoilers out there, but there's not like these dramatic, crazy spoilers yet.
Although I have seen a spoiler.
Yes.
Unintentionally, and had to unfollow someone on Instagram for just posting it, and then being an outright dick when people are mad at him.
Yeah, there's an Instagram user. We're not even going to give him credit by giving it.
Yeah, I don't know his exact name. I don't know if there's any relevance to his assholery, but...
Anyway, yeah, he was sharing spoilers and then was laughing as people unfollowed him and like making a big joke out of it. And you're like, I get it. People taking film and entertainment seriously, but...
The thing is, it's like...
We're in a fucking pandemic. People have wanted to do this. People are looking forward to this, right? 5 years ago, if you were to spoil some of that and things were normal, whatever. But this has been delayed several times, so there's some like pent-up aggression and anxiety around this for a lot of people. So you have to like put those human emotions first and not just try to be a dick about it.
Yeah, there hasn't been an entry in this original continuity of Ghostbusters since I've been alive until now.
And... the other thing is the review embargo's been lifted, so there's lots of reviews coming out. I've only read part of one.
I haven't read any, but...
And the only reason I read one, somebody on Facebook shared that this guy, like, gave it a scathing review, and I'm like, okay. The guy didn't even like the original Ghostbusters movie, and the guy has problems with the Ghostbusters fan base, which, okay, I get it.
I have problems with Ghostbusters fan base, too, but hey.
any pop culture fan base is going to have a vocal minority that gets on the internet and gives everyone else a bad name, right? And it gives you a false bad reputation. I get that. But this guy's review was kind of like a mix of talking shit on the movie, which he didn't like the original. So, first of all, if you don't like the original, why the fuck are you reviewing the other one? And then second of all, it was written more like an op-ed piece. It's like, this isn't an editorial about the fan base, because he was talking shit that the movie was written for fans. Like, a sequel written for the fans? What a concept. Isn't that every sequel, typically? Right? Isn't there a lot of fan service in every sequel?
Does he mean as opposed to a sequel just being made to make money? That's like literally just pumping out money? Because you could have potentially made a Ghostbusters sequel at any point that would have brought in money, but...
Think of all the Ghostbusters scripts in the 90s that, had they been made, probably would have been terrible.
But they would have brought in money, so...
Exactly, they would have made money.
Exactly. I mean, which one do you want?
So, yeah. Anyway, that's just my gripe with that. But luckily, the spoilers seem to be more overhyped than it was, but that was just that initial reaction of feeling left out and being jealous. And I can admit to that. Moved on from it. I'm happy for everyone that's seen it. I'm happy it's getting positive reviews. I'm happy the press train's fully going. There's lots of things to look forward till then.
Yeah.
I am going to drop this now because for our pain here in the United States, we just wait till November 18th. We'll see it in the evening. Our friends in Australia have to wait till January 1st, 2022.
Crikey!
It's a long fucking wait. And so to build the hype train up and just to understand,
I got to play the didgeridoos and ride their ruse till then.
Exactly. No, but we're going to
Watch
have
Crocodile Dundee on repeat.
We're going to have some of our...
I'm terrible, sorry.
We're going to have some of our Australian Ghostbusters friends on for a special episode in January, the very beginning, right after they get a chance to all view the movie, and do a roundtable just to get that level of excitement, because they're having to wait even longer than we are. So every time I'm like, I was being really jealous about that. And then you think about other people who have to wait longer, and you're like, I really feel like a prick because of that. Like... Let's tone it down here. Let's put shit in perspective. Sometimes you need to step away.
I am not going to blame
days.
any fan who lives in Australia who pirates this movie just to watch it, who then supports it also when it comes out in theaters.
It's 2021. At some point in time, you're going to have to realize that you can do a global release on the same day.
Yeah.
There's no reason
It's important now because we're all so connected to, I think.
Yes. For spoilers alone, I'm surprised Jason Reitman, with the way he's been talking to audiences about it when they did the MovieCon, whatever the hell that's called, where they did that. CinemaCon, and they showed it to the theater insiders and executives and people in that industry specifically, and then New York Comic Con, right? Don't spoil it. Simple ask. Easy ask, right? There's nothing wrong with that at all. So
there's nothing wrong with
but
that.
I am looking forward to doing that episode with the Australian guys, just because it's going to be awesome to hear their take on it. We'll have had some time to digest it, but I just want to be able to hear their enthusiasm for it again and get a talk about it. And having to wait that much extra time was really like, I need to slow down here. I need to not take things so seriously.
Slow down.
It's a movie.
Chew your food.
Exactly. You know what I'm talking about.
You realize we are, what day is today? Like the 13th? We're basically a month from the movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
That, I never thought I would be there.
No.
Because it just kept getting pushed back. And I wasn't one of those people like, oh, it's just going to get pushed back again wherever we see it. It's going to come out in 5 years. I wasn't like that. But it does just feel surreal to finally be that close to it. Like, when we're a week away from it, I'm still going to feel like I do now. Like, I can't comprehend that until I'm in the theater sitting there and it starts and I probably see that Columbia Pictures thing come up. I'm going to be like, oh, shit. And like, probably
it's
cum
real
my
now
pants.
because, they did a press screening for the reviews.
And there's people that we know, have some podcasts. Thank you for the coverage of that.
Yeah,
that was
awesome.
great, and I love seeing that. We love Craig, Abby, and Jake, and
they even had AJ Quick from GB Ghostbusters fans out there. So
yeah, there's so many damn Ghostbusters sites and runners and
GB fans.
We got to keep track of all these things.
And so, at first you're jealous, and then you're just happy because like you see these people having their positive responses to it. You're like, we're in good hands.
Well, it is one of those things where you're like, if anybody's going to be there, it should be them. I mean, obviously we feel like, the Cross Rip probably should have been there too, but we understand that they're a little more busy and stuff, and they're not, what's their term that they call YHS people?
Oh, dinks, double income, no kids. Yeah. And you're talking like and speaking of the Cross Rip, great friends, great people. They're going to take a little hiatus, so we've asked them if they ever get the itch to do some podcasts and they can jump on here. I'm sure we'll probably see them pop up on Yes Have Some. I don't think they're going to go away permanently. I hope not, at least. They've been staples in the community for forever, so if you can, though, go out and buy some of their merch, get that off their shelves. That way Craig can free, or not Craig, but I always do that. God damn it. That way they can free up some space there and get some of that merch off their shelves. So, Troy, I don't know why I do that. I'm such an asshole.
What's
So that's the New York Comic Con news.
Yeah. We also, if you're listening to this, we just interviewed Laura Summer. Probably 30 minutes ago we finished that. That was quite an event and a glorious occasion, and you should check out the interview. It's releasing this week sometime.
Yep.
Probably shortly after this.
Fun one. You would recognize her as the original voice of Janine on The Real Ghostbusters.
Yes. So hearing her voice is kind of weird because it's one of those things that I don't know. We had that one Real Ghostbusters tape that we watched all the time as kids. It had 3 episodes on. Like, that was my main experience with Real Ghostbusters growing up. So, like, those episodes are burned into my brain, and her voice from them is burned into my fucking skull. It's one of those things I don't ever remember watching for the first time. It's just been with me since I've been.
And her voice is on those first 65 episodes, so
yeah,
it's real easy to hear that. Like, I can distinguish the first Janine from second Janine, right? I can, so that was a lot of fun. So check that out for sure. But there was a lot of other stuff that happened.
We are also going to be doing an interview later this month with a woman named Jackie Ray Neiman Jones. That's going to be pretty odd if you do recognize that name. Maybe you're a Mystery Science Theater 3000 fan. But she was in probably the best episode of that in the movie that they talked about, Manos, Hands of Fate. And we got an email of somebody in her crew. So she's going to be on the show later this month. We're going to talk about some Mystery Science Theater 3000 and Manos, Hands of Fate. Probably some of the new Manos stuff that's happened in the last few years. That'll be interesting. So look forward to that.
We also have the episode where we're going to have our friend, the Midnight Umpire, on. I think that's is that it? The name?
Fuck, I don't know, dude.
God damn it.
You're the one setting this up.
Yeah, I know.
I look at some pretty pictures, and that's about it.
Yeah, so anyway, if you've seen all the Real Ghostbusters Halloween decorations display, that's the umpire from the Real Ghostbusters episode, and he's got this insane elaborate night game umpire, and it's this insane elaborate setup, and he's been working on it for I want to say since 2018, and he just continues to make it better and better and better every year. So we're going to have him on to chat about that project and talk about it, because if you've seen it, it's incredible. It is, people would pay him to do that. If he had the time, he could just sell replicas of that to other people, because it is amazing.
I would just have them on my walls and shit. I don't even in my yard. I just put them in my house. It's not going in a yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
Yes, exactly. But it looks amazing, and he's cut it out with jigsaws, hand painted all this stuff, added lights. It's incredible. So many ghosts from the Real Ghostbusters on there. So we're excited for that too.
So we did finally find a new name for our Spectrevision, which is no longer Spectrevision. No association with the production company Spectrevision. We've named it Haunted by Tapes. That's just a simple name. Everything we're talking about on there is not necessarily from a VHS or anything, but it just seemed very fitting, and it works with our themes. So that's what it's called now, Haunted by Tapes. We just released Basket Case was covered, and we're doing a couple this week. We're doing Halloween 1978 and 2018, leading up to Halloween Kills releasing this Friday. So we look forward to that. That's interesting, because Halloween H2O was 20 years after,
Mm-hmm. And that kind of was a retcon sequel as well, where it kind of
it did
its own thing.
It ignored the Thorn trilogy stuff.
Yeah. So there's a lot of... It's a very interesting...
Michael Myers is like fucking Godzilla with continuity, so...
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. They're fun to watch. You don't care if they all link together.
As long as you can understand the continuity, that's the only thing I care about. I just want to be able to understand it, because I like watching those things and understanding them if I'm passionate about them. So,
yeah, if you're going to watch this, you're going to want to watch
I started watching the Curse of Michael Myers tonight. That's the one with Paul Rudd.
Oh,
Have you seen that one in a while?
I have not.
I have to show you some clips from it because Paul Rudd is doing some weird acting like this with an old Hollywood voice into the phone when he calls somebody and he's like, Michael's coming back.
I want to say that actually was his first role.
It's one of his, I think his first movie role, yeah.
It was his first role, but Clueless released before that. So he actually filmed this first, and then Clueless actually released first. So.
That makes sense. Lots of people starting out in horror roles, you know.
Yeah, it's a great genre for
The Depster, The Baconator.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, how are you going to argue that stuff? It's great. Great genre to get started in.
You know, Leprechaun, Jennifer Aniston. Anyway. So Ernie Hudson already mentioned, we're just going to briefly mention this, because Ernie Hudson mentioned, you know, that I heard they're writing another sequel already for Ghostbusters. And, you know, it's like, Ivan Reitman, or Jason Reitman, you said, what did he say at the end of at that screening is when he said it, right, at the con?
I want to say in the con or one of the follow-up interviews they did, because they did a lot of press over the weekend, but basically it was like, yeah, it's kind of set up to allow other directors to do Ghostbusters movies, and I want to see their takes on it.
Yeah.
See what they do with it, right? So I think that's really kind of what everyone's been hoping for, so the thing is, like, how do you do it without oversaturating it? But the fact that things are open to the possibility of it, it's a hot property for Sony, it's doing well, right? It's obviously got interest, so we'll see how it all plays out. We would love that, obviously, as huge Ghostbusters fans.
Yeah.
And then we had the Scream trailer drop.
Yeah, the Scream trailer drop.
Yeah, I watched that. Initial thoughts are it's trying to get back to some of those OG characters. Some of the smart home stuff in there seems like, you know, they've written it to keep up with the time, so...
That's what they try to do every time with them, which is, it's an interesting thing. I'll have to wait till I see it to know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it and I was like, I didn't get the nostalgia vibes that I got when I saw, like, the Afterlife trailer, but I'm like, I'll watch it. It's a horror movie, a slasher flick, so I have fun with those.
Yeah.
Even when they're not good, they're usually good in a way that's like, okay.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people hate the Scream movies or hate everything but Scream 1. But I just enjoy them for what they are, so.
They're a slasher film, right? Yeah, you can't say it's good or bad.
The first one is fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
the second and third one are debatably okay. I mean, a lot of people have such mixed feelings on those. Like, some people like Scream 2. It's better than Scream 1, which is, whatever, you're full of shit. But Scream 3, I personally like better than Scream 2.
Yeah.
And Scream 4, I even like better than Scream 2. And a lot of people hate Scream 4. They're like, oh, it's so fucking terrible. And it's actually... more interesting than Scream 2, that's for sure.
Well, I think what a lot of people have the problem with the Scream franchise, though, and compared to other franchises, is your killer's always changing. You have this, like, core cast of people that survive, and that's typically not what you get in a horror series, right?
You get like
other
one,
people,
maybe.
Yeah, you get maybe one character that'll kind of carry along, and someone else will kind of carry along. In this, you've got a pretty solid core of people that have made it through every one of them, so... I think that's what's off-putting to a lot of horror fans, is it's kind of reverse, and, you know, you don't have this supernatural presence that's carrying over. You're just dealing with crazy people, and maybe that hits too close to home in reality. That
I like crazy people versus supernatural stuff. I like supernatural too, but...
I love it all for what it is, and it's escapism either way. You're right,
Yeah.
you know, you're just getting away from reality and having some fun with some silly shit, so either way.
Pretty much.
Home Sweet Home Alone trailer I watched.
Yeah, I also watched that.
I know I'm not its target audience. I'll probably watch it with the kids, maybe, if they like the original. I mean, they liked the original last year when I showed it to them. So if they like it again this year, yeah, we'll probably check it out. But the villains are not intimidating at all. Like, that was the thing. Like, at least in the original Home Alone, they, like, come across as scary, and there's some real terrifying moments in there.
It's fucking Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
You didn't even have to say Daniel Stern, because I love Daniel Stern, but he wasn't known like Joe Pesci. You need to get somebody who is villainous.
Yeah. Yeah, because...
Fucking have what's-his-face from Inglourious Bastards, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That would be funny.
That would be hilarious.
Christoph Waltz, you know? Like, I mean, he's finally... His super popularity there for a minute died down. Mm-hmm. So I think he'd be cool to see... You know, I'm just spitballing here, but, like, you know what I mean? Somebody who has a villainous presence that is known for being that, but now can do a more comedic take of a thing, too.
Yeah, and Daniel Stern plays, obviously, the dumb villain, but he's just scary looking at it. Like, you know, they make his hair wild enough.
Snakes.
And,
like, I don't know, no snakes.
And, like, his mannerisms is hilarious. But Joe Pesci, like, you're used to seeing as this mobster that's just fucking shooting and murdering people, so him as that role is kind of terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
and he does it well. And then some of the other, that's the issue with most of the sequels, though, is they just don't have that level.
I can guarantee you right now that Home Alone 3 is better than this movie.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to probably cover that this winter.
Well, Home Alone 3 was written by John Hughes.
Yeah.
So it had that going for it.
And it has Harold from Twin Peaks in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As one of the robbers.
So that was the big news. And then Chucky dropped. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. We're still trying to figure out what our game plan is there, but we do plan on covering that series.
We'll figure it out.
You have anything else in the news? I know Hasbro PulseCon's coming up.
I got some stuff that kind of verifies as news, but we're going to switch segments for it, so...
Okay.
I mean, are all your friends Satanists?
A young Frenchman photographed this flying saucer, or is it? From a...
Do you believe in UFOs, astral projections, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography?
We're discussing Satanism and the occult this morning and some of the dangers.
Telekinetic movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and the theory of Atlantis.
For the purposes of this study, we will focus on the number 666.
Tonight on Six Ed World.
So, Six Ed World. This week we had some very interesting things in the news, and I like engaging with some of these people in the comments on Facebook for my own entertainment, to at least, if nothing else, talk about here with you.
Trolling the trolls, to say, I guess is what you'd call that, right?
Pretty much. The first thing...
Oh, God. This is going to anger so many of you out there, and it's fucking disgusting.
Which one?
If I just saw the photos that you showed
Those
me,
ones?
Yes, that really
is. We'll talk about that real quick, I suppose. Okay. I didn't even plan to that one, but...
That's part of Six Sad World.
It definitely is. There's a... I'm not even going to mention names. I'm not going to show pictures of any of these people. But I took some screenshots from a group, a Ghostbusters group, which I won't even name the group because I'm not trying to blow anybody up or anything. It's not the group's fault. And I also don't want people going to hunt down looking for this and be creepy because it's a situation which you will understand in a moment. Just a teenage girl posting some pictures of her Ghostbusters outfit. I think she bought one of the Spirit Halloween Ghostbusters outfits and some of the props and stuff and is posting it, and it says something about, hey, I posted this, and it's my Egon cosplay. And then just asked people to be kind, basically. And some creepy people said some creepy shit on this post. And I don't know if they're just assuming that she's like an 18-year-old girl, a 19-year-old girl.
No, I just think that these creeps just fucking think it's okay to talk to underage girls like this.
There's a guy who I can only describe as... I mean, I don't want to put anybody's looks down, but this is like... he looks like an extra from Hills Have Eyes. And so does he.
When I see the... Let's put it this way. When I see these people commenting on a teenage girl's posts, I'm not surprised when I see the photos.
It says, you look great, darling, and very, very, very cute. And,
it's probably a man my age talking to a child.
Apparently, there's other people talking about she made a different post in there about... the same thing, but she had like covered her face up for the posts, and people were like giving her all sorts of weird shit in the comments about it, like, why are you covering your face? That seems pretty weird, and like all this stuff. And she was literally like, I'm a minor, I'm trying to find a Ghostbusters community, basically, hello, I'm young, just says I'm a minor, doesn't say her age or anything, and that should be enough. Why should you feel uneasy about posting your face? You're both pretty and cute. This is a guy who's
again, 30s to 40s.
Yeah. Younger than the other one, but yeah. And then she says basically that she's creeped out by the old men, and he says, oh yeah. And then she said she's a minor. It's just some weird shit going on in there. Ghostbusters fans, and I don't know if it's because there's an influx in the groups too of new people, because I don't normally see shit like this, and normally you'd see a lot more people in there like, what the fuck? Because all I commented was like, we need a mod in here to decreep this, and that girl like commented and was like, absolutely.
So my thoughts are, right, any fandom, right, when there's a sequel coming out, people just kind of circle around that, hey, it's a legacy sequel to a loved franchise, right? So yeah, people are jumping in groups and like looking up stuff because they're excited about it. And then you get this kind of shit. I mean, this shit happens all the time regardless anyway, which is unfortunate. But it's just like you see that and you're just creeped out by it and you're like, what the fuck? Like, would you want someone talking to your child like that if you had a child? Would you want someone talking like that to your niece or nephew? Like, just have some couth, right? Hey, great cosplay is all you need to say if you like it. Just encourage people to be creative, but don't be a fucking creep about it. And she's even aware of that, right? So you feel bad because she's looking for a sense of community and a sense of growth, and yet immediately upon posting, she knows she's going to deal with this kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up because, you know, just like anybody, people want to belong, they want to have a sense of community, and then there's like some fucking creep out there that's got to go and ruin fun for everybody.
And then there's the first subject I was going to talk about, which is the announcement of a bisexual Superman, and how everybody's losing their shit over this. And most people who are losing their shit over it don't even read comics, haven't ever read a fucking comic, don't own comics, but yet are the most opinionated about what comics should have. And how DC is going downhill and is going to lose all their shit. Now they're going to go read Marvel, because Marvel has no gay characters, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, some comments. Just because things are more open for the LGBTQ community don't mean everything has to include it. It's in almost every TV, movies, commercials now, too. Cartoons. To each its own, but it's like everywhere now.
Oh, so you don't like having people's perspective forced on you? Imagine not being represented in the entirety of fucking society in film and media.
Well, here's the thing, too.
It's like, put yourself in someone else's shoes for once, you prick.
I have to point this out. She's black, too. So you'd think that she would identify more with marginalized people who are, you know, obviously it's different. It's completely different. I'm not saying it's the same pain or anything like that, but it's completely different. But it is a thing that you should be able to recognize that it's inclusiveness.
Empathy.
It's like white people used to say this in the 60s when you'd see black people on shows. I don't want to see black people in my shows. I don't want to see interracial relationships. That's bad and that's sinful and that shouldn't happen. That's what people used to fucking be like.
Well, they still are.
But they're doing it towards different groups.
Yes.
I mean, believe me, racism still is very much out there, but you can get away with an interracial relationship now without fucking potentially just getting murdered on the street every day.
Yes.
You're probably going to fucking deal with just racists every day in general, but, you know...
and the racism, modern racism is subtle in different ways. But
Well, it's all on the internet, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, that's what the homophobia is. I don't experience anything to my face, ever. And I don't stick out as a person. You know, I pretty much do look normally and straight. I get that, but, you know... Still, it's only an internet thing that I see, because people they're not open about it necessarily, unless they're in huge, large, crazy Trump rallies, really. I mean, really, that's kind of when you're going to see that kind of shit.
Yeah.
A woman commented, "I agree, and I'm a free citizen, too. Why do we need this crap shoved down our throats? Don't straight people have rights, too?" I mean, I can't even take these people seriously. Whatever abnormal behavior anyone has in private is okay, but I'm tired of me having to look at it in public things every day. Just, what? People are fucking pricks.
Yeah, and most of these people are on there just talking shit. It's just like a classic internet troll. These people's lives are so fucking insignificant and worthless that the first thing they want to do is take away someone else's joy and happiness and a chance at inclusion and diversity. All these things that just should be common fucking courtesy for part of the human experience existing is fucking bad enough for most people that, like, hey, maybe we could just be nice to each other. There's not an option, because the internet exists and encourages people to be the fucking worst.
There's another comment from a guy who says, and you would think this is satire, by the way. On a gay Superman post, he says, "I'll never buy another Marvel Comics issue of any kind." And you would think that's somebody like me trolling and being an ass.
Yeah.
Like, and then I would put a laugh react emoji probably, just so people would not, they would get it.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy, he was serious. He's never going to buy Marvel again. Gay Superman? Fuck you, Marvel. That's this guy. So that's just funny. I commented and said, "You've never fucking bought a comic in your life." Like, and it's a really old, like, guy, too, and he has, like, Trump pictures and stuff. So I'm like, clearly, and he's, like, old and white and shit. I'm like, Maybe this guy had a comic once when he was a kid. Once. If that.
Yeah.
So, fuck you. You don't read comics. It's irrelevant to you.
And more importantly, let's just throw this out there. Most superheroes wear extremely tight-fitting clothes to accentuate their muscles and their physique.
Okay,
male
also...
or female.
Also,
so
I'm
you
sorry.
want to get all butthurt about someone being bi, you're looking at someone that's ripped with probably hanging dong. So
what is worse? A human sucking another human's penis, but they're both males. Or an alien from another planet fucking a human woman.
Exactly.
Interspecies relationships or bisexuality?
Yeah.
Clearly, they're not bothered by interspecies relationships.
No, because Clark Kent appears as
I mean,
a
look
cis
at
white man.
look at The Shape of Water, how successful that is. People love flicking the old bean to fucking fish.
But like I said, the reason it's okay because it's Superman, because he's
who smells more like tuna in that situation, baby?
He looks like a straight white male. Yet the irony on most of these people is like you're idolizing someone that's in way better physique than most of you are, myself included, and you're worried about how they look. And like to your point,
he's a fucking alien.
There's
dude.
alien sex. Yeah, you guys are cool with alien sex and alien
And they're okay with
reproduction?
like the whole Lois Lane plot, and they don't understand. They're like, why should gay people be shoved down my throat? Because gay people are a thing. Just like straight people. Why are straight people in anything? Because they exist.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard to understand.
The worst comments are there in the one they're like, I didn't choose to be born black, or I didn't choose to be born white. They chose to be gay. You're like,
no. You're
fucking high. Yeah. Anyone that believes that really needs to reevaluate their relationship with their existence, because, first of all, how fucking pompous and arrogant are you to say what someone was fucking born as and their experience that led to their current state of existence?
And then you would tell them, choose to be gay.
Yeah.
Choose to be attracted to the opposite sex right now. You can't do it? Interesting. Interesting, huh? You can't choose your sexualities. That's what you're telling me. Interesting. Uh-huh. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
You can't.
Classic internet bullshit with just people being so hateful. It's like, you're probably not buying these comics anyway. You're being an asshole. See a fucking therapist. Fix yourself. Stop worrying about what everyone else does, likes, or do, because all you're doing is fucking...
That's the thing is, like, I don't watch NASCAR, but I don't try to, like, say that NASCAR should be taken off TV because I don't like it. I just don't fucking watch it.
Yeah. I ignore it. I don't support...
So if you don't like gay Superman, don't read gay Superman. Go read the fucking thousands of Superman not-sucking dick issues.
We don't eat animal corpses, and yet you don't see me walking around telling people to go boycott McDonald's.
Personally, I'm much more inclined to read a comic where I can see Superman being a power bottom. You know what I'm saying?
That's going to be some interesting
fucking
artwork amongst
imagine
other things.
him turning back the world in like that old Superman movie clip, but he's doing it with his ass pounding on a fucking cock. You know what I'm
Faster than
saying?
a speeding bullet.
Yeah. That's how fast I'd blow my load if I saw that.
And more importantly, if it's the son of Superman and it's an alien or alien-human hybrid, we don't even know what their fucking genitals look like. Again, so this shit's like so far hypothetical that you're taking time out of your day to talk shit about it on the internet. Like, it's alien sex. Either way.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's still... Like, when you think about it that way, they'd probably be like, oh, that's fucked up. They'd probably get even more upset about it then.
Right.
You're less like, no, you're picking and choosing here.
And Superman is not a Christian as far as I know. Yeah, I'm sure they should have problems with that.
How can you worship Christ when you come from a more advanced civilization? Riddle me that, Batman.
So there's also... The Rolling Stones decided to stop playing their song Brown Sugar because it's, it's horribly fucking racist and sexist.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of people are losing their shit over that. And that's quite funny as well. Let's see. Here's a comment from a guy named Chad.
Hey!
No surprise there.
Chad, I bet his wife's named Karen.
He said, rap is far worse than this. And I commented with a gif of a guy saying, Chad, shoo, go away. And somebody else commented and said, but mostly black, so that's okay. Fucking nut jobs. I have to read these backwards. Hold on. Because
yeah.
Facebook puts the comments all out of order now.
Yeah, they try to go by, like, order of relevance.
I said, why are you even mad at rap when a band voluntarily chose to stop playing one of their songs? The Stones are moving forward, but you can't.
Exactly.
He said, I honestly don't care if they're going to be forced by the woke babies of America. I think the canceling bullshit should be equal. I don't know what the fuck that means.
So he wants to cancel rap. And ultimately, what you find out about most people that don't like rap, deep down at their core, is they're just fucking jealous because they can't use the N-word as freely as they would like.
Yeah. So I said, they aren't canceled, though. Canceling exists for sexual predators and racists, and people usually pretty deserving of it. No one has been canceled by anyone but themselves that I've seen.
Yeah. This just shows
Name someone who's done something that they've been canceled for that they kind of didn't deserve, and I'll wait, because Bill Cosby deserved it. Louis C.K. pretty much deserved it. And, you know, he still has a little bit of a career going for him because he had hardcore fans. That's fine. I'm not saying people can't make a comeback, but when they get canceled, certain people need to just disappear. Certain people can go and fucking hide for a while and go to therapy and get better and return. That's acceptable. Growth and becoming a better person is something I'm all for. But
I would say that's the only thing about cancel culture to a degree that is there's just not everyone's redeemable in the fact that they can come back and like regain that public trust. But for the interest of themselves as a human being existing, they should be able to go out there and fix themselves. That doesn't mean they get the right to come back in the public, but people should have the chance to improve because...
Like Bill Cosby? No, fuck him. He needs to go back to jail. That's bullshit that he's out. But
even in the Beastie Boys documentary, someone like gave them a bunch of shit about some of their old lyrics, and he's like, no, that's not who I am anymore. He's like, I've grown as a person since then. And everyone's going to have that growth. Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to done those things and you move past it, right? And that's just one way for them to do it.
So then I said, you do realize the Stones are an English band, right? Not American. So I don't have any clue what you're ranting about and why there's extra spaces and periods inserted throughout your rant. And, yeah, that's kind of where that ended.
And then speaking of racists and morons, the singer of Smash Mouth really did one up over the weekend, apparently.
Oh, did you watch the video?
I did not watch the video. I just read the quotes about it.
I know the ethics of this aren't great, but I did just see Smash Mouth perform live at a local beer and wine festival. When I say this is the most chaotic show I've ever seen in my entire life, I have no words.
At no point was the sound balanced. Unintelligible speech.
Nazi salute.
It's my fucking birthday!
Yeah, can't make that up.
I want to get that as a sound clip. I'll kill your whole fucking family, I swear to God. Sounds like Buffalo Bill, Jesus Christ. And the thing is, as I've heard, he's had some brain problems and like shit like that, so I don't want to laugh too hard and like be like, okay, he's a crazy racist, because I don't really know what's going on with the guy. He's obviously retired. We've seen that announcement because of this video coming out.
Yes, but
oh my God.
Again, though, that's the fine line between, okay...
Yeah, he doesn't need to be canceled. There's no canceling there. I get it. He's doing the Nazi salute, and that kind of makes me want to kick him in the dick. There's no context there, though. The guy should be so wasted. That doesn't mean he's necessarily trying to do that.
They're playing a fucking beer and wine fest, right? Smash Mouth's not exactly fucking living it up anymore either.
Right. They know that they're just a meme at this point.
Yes.
That's the only reason you'd go to see Smash Mouth is to see the one song from fucking Shrek and be like, ah, the memes. Ah.
Yeah, exactly. Now, that said... It's really fucked up what he did, but here's my problem with it. The band knew he was struggling and having troubles, and they said this is like his last chance at it. I get that, but if you have that troubling behavior and there's other things going on, don't even fucking put your reputation at risk for that, because you know that. You know
help the
that's
guy
gonna
out
happen.
first. Just take a year or two off if you have to before doing anything.
And my other thing with that is, if you know he has mental issues and you know he's doing all this, you're letting him drink alcohol, which is going to affect your fucking behavior and your attitude and your state of mind. So who knows what kind of prescription drugs he's on to fucking help with his mental issue. Like, they all fucking failed him. It's still bullshit and fucked up that he did that, and who knows if that's what he really believes, but just one of those things. That was a situation that should have never happened, because people failed to look out for that guy at the fucking sake of making some money at a fucking beer and wine fest. Total bullshit.
Yeah. So, again, mixed feelings on that. On one hand, it's hilarious. The video is fucking hilarious. At one point, he says to the audience, to somebody specifically, I'll kill your whole fucking family, I swear to God.
Yeah, doesn't.
And there's no context for that, so that's why it's funny.
Yeah.
You don't know what that person did. At some point, somebody threw a beer at him, and then he caught it and started drinking it and started spraying it out like it was his piss and shit. Like, she posted multiple videos on. I went to her TikTok and saved them. I was like, this is fucking, like, treasure here.
It's treasure, but that just shows you how fucked up the state of the world is
I do hope the guy gets help, just because, you know, I don't wish ill will upon anyone, really. Like, among, you know, there's a few people for sure, but
even then, it's just not worth the energy.
No.
Like, I'd rather just get on with my life. But yeah, you hope the guy gets help, but at the same time, the people around him failed him because they knew he was struggling, and they didn't. And they fucking let him out.
If this was a movie scene and it was about a guy collapsing and shit, like, and his career going to shit because of his music only being known as a meme, which should now be written, by the way. Somebody
jump on that one.
Yeah. It'd be a fucking hilarious scene. It'd be the best scene of the movie. So I'm sorry. It's funny.
It's fucking hilarious.
Speaking as someone who has lots of mental issues myself, and as a musician, but and I'm a less successful person in general. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. We're criticizing him here, but still, if they knew he had those issues, they weren't letting him help by getting him out, getting drinking, and doing all this stuff. And then, not to mention the fucking sound company out there that did that, just fucking obviously has no fucking idea what they're doing, because the sound of that was atrocious. So I hope that fucking festival didn't pay.
If I was there doing sound, I would have just like turned down his microphone and plugged my own in and started singing from the booth.
If they know he had issues, they probably had a fucking pre-recorded vocal track they could have just pumped in over him, right? And you could have done that and just fucking muted him, called it a day.
Now you're an all-star.
Yeah. Hey, now you're an all-star. Go retire. Get paid. Oh. So we had enough fuckery there. So we're actually going to talk about a movie.
You know what I just watched? Me pulling a can off some moron's fist? Return of the Jedi.
Did you see Alien? When that creature was in that guy's stomach?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You ever seen that really old movie?
Oh my god.
Empire Strikes Back?
Jesus, Tony.
Welcome to Retro Release Reviews.
All right. We are talking the 1996 film directed by Andrew Fleming, The Craft. A Columbia Pictures release.
I noticed that, and I noted it, and I said, Ghostbusters adjacent.
Yep, just like Christine is.
Close. Close by. Keep it close by.
So this movie's, let's talk. So Robin...
I got a bunch of notes to go through before we talk about the movie, about the cast here.
I was going to look at the cast
crazy.
Here.
We're starting with Robin Tooney, yeah.
Yeah, Sarah Bailey, and she's great, right? She's kind of the new girl in town. And then we have Fairuza Balk.
Wait.
What else you got?
I got notes for every person here.
Fuck yeah.
Because Robin Tooney is in a couple different things that I am fucking obsessed with. She's in a tape over on that wall. Encino Man.
Yes.
She's in Encino Man.
And I love Encino Man.
She's in Empire Records, which I watched. I don't have that on VHS, but I watched that a couple weeks ago, and I really like that movie. You ever seen it?
Oh, it holds up. That's a great one.
I love that one. We got to cover it sometime.
There's this whole mystical section of record store type movies that take place in the 80s and 90s, and like that just doesn't exist anymore. It's a whole like lost art and a lost place in time. So those are beautiful.
High fidelity, you know.
Yeah.
Great. She's also on Vertical Limit with Bill Paxton, which I haven't seen, but I kind of want to. I'm curious to see it now. So then, yeah, Fairuza Balk, Nancy.
Yep.
She was in Return to Oz as a kid, American History X, Waterboy. Like, pretty recognizable.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, she's one of the most recognizable from The Craft. I mean, just the look she has, like, she's kind of the 90s goth poster girl, right?
Yeah.
Especially the mid-90s here, because this is 96, so...
Yeah. Before Jennifer Tilly took over because of Bride of Chucky.
Yeah, true.
Neve Campbell as Bonnie.
Yeah, Bonnie,
obviously from Scream and Wild Things.
Mm-hmm. And Scream was released in 96 as well, so she had a pretty fucking big year at the box office.
Yeah. And speaking of Scream, you got Skeet Ulrich.
Yeah.
And speaking
Playing
of
Chris Hooker.
Skeet...
Did you add that sound clip?
Go Web, go!
No, that's my Skeet clip. Anytime we mention Skeet, it's the...
Go Web, go.
Go Web, go!
Because, you know, semen resembles Spider-Man's web fluid.
Mm-hmm.
That's the joke.
Yep, and then you have Rachel True as Rochelle Zimmerman.
Mm-hmm. She... Recognize her? She's in Half-Baked.
Fuck! Okay, I
That's why you know her.
Yeah, I was like, she's
the girl that Dave Chappelle's trying to date. And she's in
awesome.
Sharknado 2.
Fuck yeah.
She has a bunch of other credits that I just didn't recognize. Those are just a couple.
The only other name I wrote down here, because there's a lot of supporting cast, but Breckin Meyer is Mitt, because he's one of those, like...
That's the only other one you wrote down?
Yeah.
Holy shit. You missed out on Christine Taylor, who played Laura, the girl with the hair falling out.
Oh, in the shower,
because she's
yeah.
in Clueless. No, wait. That's... I wrote those backwards.
You son of a bitch, you're lying.
She's in... No, that was Breckin Meyer who's in Clueless. Christine Taylor, though, is in the Brady Bunch movies from the 90s as Marsha Brady.
Okay.
The Wedding Singer as the Drew Barrymore's best friend.
Oh, okay.
Zoolander, Dodgeball.
I just didn't...
Arrested Development. She's in lots of shit I like. She's like the most successful person at this point.
Her
for me.
screen time in this was little
Maybe
enough,
not
though,
all.
that I wasn't super focused on her character, so...
Yeah, I just recognized her and I was like, that's fucking Marsha Brady.
But Breckin Meyer is just one of those fucking 90s faces, because he always has that, like, fucking, like, long skater bowl cut bullshit, and you're like, oh, there he is, and he's just kind of doing some kind of typical role.
Was he in one of the Nightmare on Elm Streets? Like Freddy's Dead, is he in that?
Fucking maybe, I don't even know.
But I wrote down he's in Clueless, Road Trip, Rat Race, Garfield, creator of Robot Chicken with Seth Green, so he's got some pretty interesting things going.
Yep. Got to work with Bill Murray without working with Bill Murray.
Yeah. So Nancy, Bonnie, and Rochelle are kind of in a circle in the beginning scene, but that's not a full circle, obviously.
No.
Because there's no fourth witch, which they will fucking pound it into your brain that that's what they're looking for.
Yes, there's actually some, taking notes when you watch these versus just taking it in is completely different, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just some of the shit you notice or, like, take note of, so...
Yeah, the whole, it opens up with a lot of 90s stuff did, like modern bands covering 60s or 70s songs. So you have a band called Our Lady Peace, Our Lady Peace,
yeah.
I may as well, fucking it's a dumb name, sorry. Covering a Beatles song, Tomorrow Never Knows. Very mediocre.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah. I'm like, why didn't you put some fucking more goth music on here? There's one super good goth song by Susie and the Banshees on here. I'm like, this should have been like some... Like The Crow, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a total fucking missed opportunity from the music aspect.
Yeah, the sound...
The score itself is okay,
Yeah.
but the music choices...
There's a couple music choices I do like, though. But it's like Letters to Cleo and shit, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You may as well put fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers in here, just fucking... Bling, 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 bling.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my Red Hot Chili Peppers music impression.
Yeah,
I fucking hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Fucking slap bass.
Yeah. It's more like Seinfeld.
Like, Flea's a badass as a human being, just in his philanthropy and his music school and stuff, but I just don't care for the Peppers.
No, I hate him. I mean, I hate the music. I respect it. I'm like, yeah, you're more talented at bass and all that. I'll give you credit. I don't care about that. I just hate the fucking music, and I don't want to hear it.
I do like him in Back to the Future, though. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's just great. So, this movie kicks off, and Sarah, we figure out, is going to be this new girl.
Yeah, she sees a snake in the tree, and you're like, oh, there's lots of snakes in this movie, apparently.
Yeah, sees the snake in the tree.
They go to the dope-ass house.
Yeah, that's a badass house up on that hill, man. That's amazing.
Interesting architecture and all that, and it's like, it's fucking hilarious. She's like going through and unboxing shit, and like the dude with the snake comes in, and he says,
freaks her out.
"Hey, I found this out back. You want it?"
Yeah.
That's what I say to women that I'm dating when I unzip my pants.
When you have them take the shoebox lid off?
Exactly.
Oh, God. You're getting canceled.
I paint it. I paint it up like a fucking snake. And
what
put
is
it in a
yellow
shoebox
before
with a
red
mouse.
and you're dead. Red before yellow, you're a lucky fellow, or whatever.
I don't fucking know.
You're going to do a snakeskin condoms. It's my snakeskin condom. I wore it as a sign of my individuality.
Oh, God.
This is a snakeskin jacket. And for me, it's a symbol of my individuality.
And then that's when you kind of...
belief in personal freedom.
You got to let Nick
Sorry,
Cage
I was
finish.
going to say, you just got to let Nick Cage roll, man. When
He's
that
gotta do
rolls,
his
it's got to
thing.
go. But she freaks out about the snake. The dad chases the guy out. Like, you don't even know why he's there. I don't think he's helping move or anything. He just fucking shows up.
Seems like this guy that wanders in there. He's like, I got to talk to you. Stop freaking out. He like yells at her and shit. Relax.
And then, yeah, just her and her dad. Mom has passed away.
Although I think Justin gets one of his insults from this movie because at one point Breckenmeyer calls her Snail Trail.
Snail Trail? Who have I called Snail Trail?
You've just said Snail Trail.
I'll refer to that. Yeah, that's a 90s thing, so that just shows that I'm that much older than you. In 1996, you didn't even know what Snail Trail was. Still
I don't know.
to this day. Still don't to this day.
What is a clitoris?
Yeah. It's a punching
I'm
bag.
fucking Click Commander.
Punching bag for emotions.
She makes her like pencil stand up in class and is like spinning it.
Mm-hmm.
And Bonnie notices and is like getting a wet on.
Yeah. So the other thing is you kind of start seeing the other witches at school is they're like, oh, the Farmer's Almanac says that there's going to be like something big today. Like there's going to be something that'll like help complete us. And you're like, foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And, like,
the Farmer's Almanac?
Or they said something
Must
about...
be a horse cock.
Yeah.
Something to fill us up.
It was one of those lines it stuck with me, but I didn't write down exactly what the phrasing was, so sorry.
Yeah, it looks like they're in science class, the lab partners and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, ooh, she's our fourth. And then, you know, Nancy's kind of a bitch to her, so she goes and sits somewhere else. And Bonnie's like, you dumb bitch, we need her.
Yeah.
And,
well, so...
Oh, then they go, yeah, they invite her after school or whatever.
Yep, and then Chris takes an interest to her as well.
Yeah.
And so she's watching...
He's a lot like,
He's playing a very similar character to his character in Scream. Just
yeah,
as
but
far
he's
as
so
the
much
skeeziness.
cooler in Scream that, like...
Yeah. He's
it's
immediately...
his character, I guess.
He immediately just comes off as a bit rapey in this.
Oh, yeah, always. 100%.
Yeah.
And you get that, like, the magic is what makes him kind of be that way later, but also it's probably just because he had that in him already. You know, that's not kind of how it feels.
Amplified the existing character that was already
Exactly. They go to the store. She shows him her fucking knife scar when she's like, I tried to fucking check out early.
Yeah.
Basically, and they're like, oh, you even did it the right way, Bonnie says. And Rochelle's like, how do you know? And she's like, fucking, I know, bitch. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, don't you worry about that. Yeah.
Bonnie tries to get Sarah to steal there, which is interesting. And
Yes,
Sarah's
at the
like, I don't
shop.
need to steal, bitch. I got money.
Yeah. She's like, steal this. And then even the shopkeeper's like, oh, you're not like the other girls. You're, okay.
All they do is steal my shit.
Yeah.
And I still let them in here for some reason, because they're the only fucking witches in town.
Did they even tell us her name? The
I don't think so, because I never wrote it down.
Yeah, I didn't either. But she's like just a very... She's so integral to this story, and the first time you meet her, it's interesting just because she's so calm and collected and cool with everyone in there. And it's like she's like the Morgan Freeman of witch store owners.
Yeah.
So she's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she buys some stuff from her and gets some candles and stuff. And
yeah, and she's offering, hey, do you know how to use these? Like, I can give you the instructions.
Yeah, she gives her another book. $20, please. This is literally almost the whole, like... I don't know, there's a way to do these scenes in movies where you don't do something weird like that, saying $20. The reason it almost works and you can let it slide in this movie is because it is such a weird type of shop run by one person that you could be like, yeah, sure, maybe she is just kind of like, give me $20 and you can have all that shit, whatever.
Yeah, there's no price tags on it. But that makes sense there, right?
But they do this shit in movies all the time that almost reminds me of The Room, where Johnny runs in to get the roses. Hi, doggy.
Mm-hmm.
And all that shit. It's just a weird interaction.
Yeah.
And then the snake guy is back. And he's like, it's you.
Yeah.
Like, I got another snake or some shit. You want it? Like, I gotta tell you something. You're gonna die. And then they kind of get him killed. At least they think they do. Possibly.
Yeah,
they interfere, sort of.
Yeah, they say they all thought or hoped that he would get ran over.
Yeah.
And is that the first time they mentioned Manon when they're talking about him?
Mano?
Yeah.
Yeah. They, she's talking about how you gotta invoke the spirit and you take him into you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, come on now.
Sounds like more religious rape. If you ask
I just
me.
wrote LOL because it's like, yeah, it just sounds like the Virgin Mary.
Typical. Yeah, I can indoctrinate you into my religion. All you need to do is...
So then Sarah's on a date with Chris on this fucking roof.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a fucking douche. That's my note there. He's all like, when she's like, I gotta go, because he's like, oh, let's go to my place. Nobody's there. She's like, no.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm good, yeah.
Like, you can... No. I'm gonna go home. And then he's like, that's fine.
I could have a shower.
And then she's like, are you mad? And he's like, his acting there is great because he is so douchey. He's just like, no. And then apparently he ends up telling everybody at school that, they fucked.
Yep, typical dude trying to slut shame a girl and she's not a slut.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, why slut shame anyone anyway? But
this is one of those things that is kind of repeated 2 or 3 times throughout the movie, where you see each person with their sort of current problem.
Yes.
And next we move on to Rochelle, who's at like a swim practice. And the fucking Laura's being a bitch and being snarky, and they're being an asshole because she is not great at jumping or something like that and shit, so...
Yeah, she obviously she's just struggling to excel.
Which is, it's the thing.
It's the whole reason you practice, but okay.
And Laura's like, ew, I found a pubic hair on my brush.
Oh, yeah.
Must be one for Rochelle's nappy hairs. And you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah,
Rochelle should have just fucking decked you for this shit.
Yeah. That's the thing that doesn't make sense. They're like, nowadays that'd have just been a straight up fucking fight, and that bitch would have been in trouble for fucking racist bullshit. But tells the story well though, because then you're like, when she fucking...
Because Rochelle is really not that evil, but once she's around fucking Nancy more and shit, it's one of those things like...
Well, yeah, it's like
Nancy is influencing them too.
Yeah, Nancy is the fucking real shit.
Makes him a little more evil.
Yeah, she makes him a little more evil, but they're still followers enough that it's just like... Nowadays, when you still are prosecuting people that were associated with World War II crimes in concentration camps, like, you still helped this other person's agenda. You didn't say no. You didn't step up. You had the choice. You didn't do the right thing. So, like, there still needs to be accountability there. So, I mean, guilty by association.
Way to make it all serious.
I had to.
To ruin the mood.
Oh,
anyway, Bonnie's getting gene therapy and getting stabbed with a needle over and over. Getting penetrated, if you will. Over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't want to penetrate Neve Campbell, am I right?
Yeah, and that's her scars.
Yeah.
Her scar tissue that she's trying to get repaired.
Yeah. So then they say we're going on a field trip. And they fucking like skip school or something. I don't get what's happening there. That's a fucking weird scene the way they did that, but
yeah.
Either way, they leave town and one of the old random farmer looking dude is like, watch out for weirdos. And she's like, we are the weirdos. And like,
You gotta have that. You gotta sell that narrative of goths being terrible people in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing they're trying to go for.
Same thing, yeah, with fucking John Hughes being like, the goth girl has to be all pretty now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, put all that black makeup back on. It looks fucking dope.
Like, now she looks like everybody else. Go back. Turn Depeche Mode back on, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, then they all like do their thing where they ask for something. And Rochelle is like asking for the ability not to hate those who hate me and shit. Laura being the racist. Sarah asks to love herself more and to be loved by Chris. Which is like, Sarah's a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Chris is clearly a fucking weirdo and a creep, and he's not that good looking by any means. You have no common interests at all. You've literally only seen him, and he just tries to fuck you. That's all that has happened, basically. And then he talks shit on your friends. That's all that's happened. And they told you that he was doing fucked up shit.
And this is after he told everyone he fucked you on day one.
Yeah, so she's just kind of stupid. And I don't know. That's just the writing of that's...
Yeah, it's not...
I think it's stupid, and I don't... Yeah, it's dumb.
Fucking 90s writing, though, basically.
Bonnie asks for the power to be beautiful and shit. All right, cool. I get that. You have to hide your body. I understand that one. That one's the one that makes most sense.
Yeah, she's
hers
ashamed of her
and I
scars,
guess
yeah.
Rochelle's is pretty valid too. And Nancy's all full of shit and is like, I want the power of Mano. And you're like, all right, this bitch is crazy. Then they do the light as a feather, stiff as a board, and make my penis stand up.
I'm glad I wasn't watching this with you.
Well, I did drop by your house and briefly saw that you were watching it. And I made fun of Skeet Ulrich's name.
Yes, but I wasn't watching it with you and Booger with no pants on. Booger doesn't wear pants anyway, but...
Yeah.
Sometimes you do.
I should get him a Donald Duck costume.
You should get yourself a Donald Duck costume.
That'd be fucking hilarious to do porn in. Because you could just walk into the room and be like,
What's up, Doc? Who wants to suck some duck dick?
basically.
Oh, God, we're going to go to hell. If it exists.
It doesn't. We'll be fine.
Oh, you're right.
Laura's hair starts falling out.
In the shower, too. It's pretty epic. She's like bawling. Everyone's like, what's wrong? What's wrong?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Like, you done fucking crossed the wrong person. What's wrong? Fuck around and found out.
Mm-hmm. Bonnie's checkup goes well.
Mm-hmm.
Her doctor's kind of hot. And,
You like an educated woman?
Mm-hmm. And intelligence is one of the hottest things out there. Especially in a world of morons.
Yes, in a world of internet culture.
Find someone who's
beautiful.
A woman who's like that makes me feel retarded. That's what it's about. Let's see. This is one of the funniest fucking lines in the movie. When they're like, is Nancy's wish working? What did she wish for? And Rochelle says, I think she didn't want to be white trash anymore. But I told her, deal with it, girl. You white.
That's amazing.
I about died laughing. I forgot about that line.
Sometimes you just have to get people to accept who they are.
Yeah. Nancy then kills her stepdad with a heart attack. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was a piece of shit anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly, that explains why she is the way she is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
Why you are the way you are.
Well, it's like people that go through abuse. Yeah, like you either become just like the abuser that you dealt with, or you go opposite and you don't allow that bullshit to happen.
All right, Harvey Dent.
Two-faced here.
Should tattoo half of my penis. Call it Two-Face.
We could just light half of it on fire.
With chemicals?
Yeah, we'll put something that doesn't burn on one side, like an anti-burn gel on one side and burn gel on the other.
Salt and ice.
Yeah, it'll be good.
You
can do a photo shoot later, too.
Onlyfans.com / Frog Brothers Penis Winkers
/ Alex Freddy Krueger Dick.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I should just burn it all over and then put a hat on it. And a sweater. And a little glove with a... Could probably take a hand from an action figure and just stick it on the side. That's the hands.
Like a fat Freddy Krueger?
Basically. A very fat and long Freddy Krueger. Not at all like a... You know...
and stop there.
That's great. Oh. That's the thing, though. What about Frankenstein? I'm just now thinking about Frankenstein's penis. Frankenstein's monster. Let's say it that way.
Yeah, the monster? Yeah, I mean, he stole dead body parts to make them, so
but,
I'm sure he sold those parts,
But
too.
he just steal, like, the pelvis with a penis attached. Did he seek out, like, no, this monster's got to have a big cock. I got to find the biggest cock in this graveyard, and it's going on this monster, and he is hanging dong, bruh. Like,
well, Mary Shelley conveniently left that part out of her.
You'd have to really go for
her book.
It's for fresh bodies only, so you also have to like find like a good fresh cock. So I don't know. It's a whole thing.
I'm sure you have no problems finding those.
Nope.
All right. So where were you?
Let's see. Oh, then they get a nice apartment with the insurance money because that comes through, and that's pretty nice.
Yeah, they're all.
They get a deluxe apartment in the sky and a jukebox.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I want a jukebox with like records in it and shit.
Fuck, that's the only thing this video store's missing.
I would put like fucking the shit from Twin Peaks that's in the jukebox and the Double R Diner in there.
Get some cherry pie. Need to get a cigarette machine. Not have cigarettes in it though, but just to have one for the steak of nostalgia.
Blunts in there.
You could.
She does the hair color change thing.
Yeah.
At their little party. Later that night, Chris is outside her window and he's like, "What insurance to the phone?" And she's like, "It's 3 a.m., you fucking weirdo. What are you doing?" And he's like, I was... I think he says, "I was watching The Exorcist and I got to thinking about you."
We got jokes.
Got jokes for days, baby. My next note says...
Wait, did you skip the whole joyride shit where they're running the red lights?
No, that's this next part.
Okay.
Where it says, Nancy is insane.
Yes.
Bunch of... oh, that's where they do the... They go to do the cave again and do something else. And then she's like all fancy and is like a bunch of dead sharks out there.
This is my gift. This is my gift.
And, like losing her shit. Like,
do that again. That's an amazing sound. I love it. We need that on the soundboard.
Right. I also want to get from Street Fighter the
That's amazing. Yes. So in my notes, I had that the blonde girl loses her hair in the shower after.
Well, she loses it more. Like,
more. Yes.
Remember, they keep going back to these things. When they go back to her at one point, she's crying in the shower. She looks like fucking Gollum.
Yes, it does.
It's amazing. Then they do the... This movie has a lot in common with Fight Club. I feel like Nancy's Tyler Durden. Sarah is the narrator here.
Yeah.
Because she's driving down the road, and she starts driving like a maniac and running red lights. And she says, like, "What's something you you wish you could do that you never did?"
Yeah.
Build a house. No, I'm sorry.
You just had a near-life experience. Yeah, so she's running those red lights, and that last one, like, that other car almost hits him and fucking goes. Like, she does one, and then just keeps escalating. So.
Yep. Chris is basically stalking Sarah at this point.
Yeah, and fucking...
And then she agrees to go on a date with him again.
He tries to fucking rape her.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. She runs up off the hill and goes away and gets away, okay.
He's like, "Let me give you a back rub." And she's like, "No." And then he's like, when she's trying to leave, it's you can see how pathetic this guy is, because he's like, just hold me. And then he goes and tries to rape her. And then she kicks his knees and groin, I don't know, some combination of shit, gets him away and runs away.
Yeah, she walks off up the hill and, goes to the... Do they imply she goes to the party, or is this party the next day? It's kind of hard.
I think she goes straight there because she's still fucked up. Like her face and everything.
Yeah, she's still all bloody, that's right. So, and then Chris goes to the party, and then he has his whole bit with Nancy, and he's saying drunk, and Nancy's trying to fuck him. And then Nancy pulls all of her witch shit, which is pretty awesome. She, like, looks like Sarah.
I'm like, oh, geez, the possibilities with this woman.
A new girl every night.
Or, like, a threesome with one woman.
Just back and forth.
Right? Now back to the other one. Now let's do Barbara Walters.
Barbara Bush.
Dude, Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers. Give me Joan Rivers.
Before or after plastic surgery?
Tell me why so. Do the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
Everything. Magic? Could be anything. She doesn't even have to fuck you. She could just probably illusion that she's fucking you and be in the next room, like, reading or something.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking somebody else. Shit.
Yeah, when she does that reveal, it's fucking wild, though, because Nancy reveals that it's actually Sarah, but it's actually Nancy trying to bang Chris. Like, so you have this whole thing, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Then they reveal their witches to him, basically, so he's like, And
Sarah tries to start putting that binding spell on Nancy at that point, because after she throws him out of the fucking window.
Yeah, because fuck him.
Yeah.
And he dies. So that happens. She leaves the circle, and there they all threaten her and shit.
Yeah, they're trying to fucking bully her. Like, you can't leave the circle. Like, we need you. Like,
we're gonna fuck you up. You better leave town, bitch.
Yeah.
And she goes to the witch lady shop for help.
Mm-hmm. And the witch lady obviously knows it's Sarah.
This scene is almost pointless because she doesn't get anything out of it.
Well, you learn that Sarah's mom was a witch too, and the shopkeep helps her and basically says that she gives her just enough information about being a witch and just tells her she's
about to help her do something, and then Nancy shows up and she's like, I have to go.
The big piece out of that, though, is that Sarah's mom was a witch too, and this other lady knows it. That's basically what I get.
Yeah.
It's just more context around her backstory.
You could have just told me at a less panicky moment than that, I think, and it was just weird because I expected
the timing on that's
else.
not great because it offsets the pacing for there, but I did have that note. And then you get the faked plane crash by Nancy to fool Sarah that her dad has died.
Which is funny. That'd be a funny prank to play on people.
Yeah. They're fucked up.
Then the snakes and maggots and tarantulas.
The snakes everywhere. And I have my note is bathroom fuckery because it's like a bathroom full of like everything disgusting.
Yeah.
That's not shit. Surprisingly. It's not shit or piss. It's worms and other stuff. So
this is my next note says Nancy shows up in there, and all the things disappear because she's doing magic or whatever. Here's my next note. All right. Sarah gets her back with a K and no C. And then yada yada. And then like 2 minutes later I wrote, look, I can't even be bothered to finish writing back. What do you want? And my last note after that is kicks her into the glass. Yep. Because I was watching the whole sequence there, but I just was like, there's not really a good things to take note on. This is kind of boring me a little bit. Like, they could have done a cooler conclusion there, I feel like. But
well, I feel like they lost some momentum because they, without being too special effects driven, and the special effects at the time, and probably for the budget, they didn't have a lot there, so they did what they could. But I had notes that said 3-on-1 at Sarah's house, and then Sarah overpowers Nancy by Mano, helping her come back to life after she gets killed once, right? And then Nancy's last tries to stab Sarah, and then Sarah's doing the binding spell. So,
yeah.
I mean, that works out pretty well. Then the ending's pretty epic, just in the fact that after, like, the sequence is done, Bonnie and Rochelle show up later to apologize. Well, we just, it was just a joke that your dad died in that, that was just pretend. And she's like, bitch, I ain't got no time for that. Nobody got time for that. And then she drops the tree by them, and she says, be careful or you end up like Nancy. And then you get the whole little typical, hey, here's someone strapped to a bed in a psych ward acting nuts. And that's Nancy telling you that she can fly. And so they've all lost their powers besides Sarah. And Sarah lived happily ever after. And became I Dream of Jeannie. Or wait, Bewitched. Whatever that show was. Something like that.
Oh, fucking I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah, same. Magic.
Oh, man. Well, I think that's about it for today's episode. So, again, we have a lot of other things coming out this week. Check those out as well.
Yeah.
And I guess what we will do is see you next week. And in the other episodes this week, I guess, because there's a lot of other shit coming out this week. It's got some good content. So check out the feeds.
Stuff to be dropping this week like your balls during puberty.
Basically.
Be dropping like a bass hit in that song that you like.
Yes.
You know that one song where that bass goes, doom, 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 like that 808 really hits like...
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Frog Brothers Podcast. We'd greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. And if you're listening on the audio feed on Spotify or Apple or Twitter or wherever you listen, tell your friends and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/thefrogbros. Hit us up on Instagram at Frog Bros Podcast, on Twitter at bros_frog, on TikTok at Frog Bros Podcast, and follow us on Facebook. Join our Facebook group Frog Bros Video by searching just that, Frog Bros Video. Hit request to join and you'll be approved. We have shirts available. The link is in our Instagram bio and below in the description. And you can find stickers on Etsy at Frog Bros, all one word. Additionally, if you'd like to give us a call and leave a voicemail soon, our Patreon will be live and we'll be posting monthly responses and reactions to the voicemails. Dial 816-832-5388.
Shut this off. Shut these all off.